Reverse that fixture. Bring it back.
Diving it. Diving it. Diving it. Diving it.
What do we get called them?
Diving it. Diving it. Glory. Diving it. Diving it. Glory. Diving it. Glory.
Ooh yeah, D4G Champions League. Yeah, you know, this like a par down episode as normal. I don't be just going in like that. But welcome back, Diving for Glory, Champions League, weekday, match day 4 in this motherfucker, man. Please check us out. We're posting every Monday on divingforglory.com, as well as iTunes, as well as YouTube. Check us on Twitter and Facebook at Diving for Glory. That's Diving FOR Glory. Sir Solomon, what it do?
Not much.
Not much. Well, a lot fucking happened in these matches, though.
Pavkov is on fire. Your defense is terrified.
The dude's big and slow as hell. Man, let's just jump right into it, man. Liverpool and going away to Belgrade, and they decided to, like, you know, be fancy and like, oh, we're gonna train at your rival's stadium and not yours, and
leave Shaq back. There was a whole thing on the fucking pregame presser about how Shaqiri wouldn't go because Serbia, you might get a bad reception. Your whole fucking team got a bad reception, you dumb fucks.
Dude, it's fucking Red Star Belgrade, dude.
Pavkov
Like,
is on fire. Your defense is terrified. They sang that at the end in the stadium. A bunch of people that don't even speak English. That's how inspired they were after beating Liverpool's ass that they sang that to them.
So put it on them early in this game, and Liverpool could never pull it back.
Nah, the early goals really changed everything because after that they just sat back in a couple of banks of 4 and just had one guy just to stretch the field up front. But they were generally very comfortable sitting back. Very organized team. I mean, the first goal showed last season one of the main things that defensive frailties of Liverpool was considered their set pieces. Mm-hmm. And Virgil van Dijk has
you got beat on this one.
Mostly dealt with it very well. Joe Gomez, etc., etc. But on this one, bullet header, completely beat. It was completely. I mean, you can't always be good at set pieces, but that one was badly defended. And a few minutes later. Oh, first off, Pavkov is the one that scored. This man, it's his first ever Champions League game.
We crushed him with the header, but it was really the second goal.
And then the second goal,
like
he gets the ball in the middle of the field. Gini Wijnaldum is basically dancing with him like some Luke music is on. He's grinding all over him for like fucking 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, this dude's moving like a water buffalo.
Yeah, he's like shaking him in one direction, shaking. It was not a speed move, but he just the tenacity of
get off me,
take the
that.
fuck off me. And then once he got him off, he pushed the ball forward slightly, and from a distance, he said, "Let's go meet Alisson."
Yeah.
Alisson was not ready.
And so this was early. It's like, what, 24th minute? It's 2-0.
Yeah, 24th minute, 2-0.
Belgrade's going crazy. Is this the difference between, a team with a in-form Mohamed Salah versus not?
I think that Liverpool's midfield injury situation really affected them. And when I think they also, as a coaching staff and as a team, thought that Red Star Belgrade was just going to be a Europa trip that happens to be on Tuesday.
4-0 on the last
on the
fixture.
first time they met. Yep. And so they didn't come as prepared. If you look at like videos, which they call the walk out from your locker room to the stadium in Belgrade, the scariest walkout ever, dude. Like, there's no paint, nothing. Like, there's just gothic looking, just disgusting looking, what do you call it, graffiti.
Yeah.
All through the stadium, in the tunnels, all the way
80s.
there, on both sides. That's what you see, is just like all types of graffiti. And on the right side, though, the whole tunnel, there is riot police standing side to side. Not even a gap between them.
This is like,
Your whole walk, you're accompanied by fucking scary.
this is like Brooklyn '86 on the train.
Basically.
Mine is the fucking riot police.
Basically.
That's so awesome.
And you go down further first, and then you come up like about 20 steps, and when you come out, the first thing you see is like pirate flags and shit of Belgrade, and is the you come in out of the ground. Like, you're not walking in out of a stadium straight out. You're coming in upstairs, and you walk into up into the stadium where all these basically ex-warlords' companions are hanging out waiting for you.
So who's there? They have a local rivalry. I think we even talked about this rivalry last year on Diving for Glory. Dinamo Zagreb, right?
No, that's not local anymore. That was the big one. Was Dinamo Zagreb against Red Star Belgrade?
Yeah.
Was before Croatia but now there's Dinamo Kiev. No, not Dinamo Kiev. Belgrade. Kiev is in Ukraine.
Okay.
But when they had Dinamo, whatever you just said, Zagreb, they were out of Croatia, and this was the team this was the army team at the time, and the Croatians were like the police team, you know? And that rivalry, one of the football games between these two games, actually led to the breaking up of the Yugoslav Republic, you know? Like, these people are serious.
Yeah, and then it gets crazy. Usually they have to shut the game down at some point for flares and stuff coming on. So, yeah, like you said, Liverpool walking in, thinking this was just a normal Europa tie. Yeah. But you're Liverpool, and that's ridiculous to me, because you watch what your fans do the city.
Agree.
And like you said, that's Liverpool's thing is European football.
I agree. When Liverpool has a big European night, it's like, oh, European night at Anfield. When somebody else does it, it's like, oh my God, they're hooligans.
Fucking, oh man. Sturridge awful in this game, taken off at halftime.
Shouldn't have played.
That's the thing.
At this point in his career on that team, he's an impact sub, and if you bring him on, like I said, you felt like you were better than the team that you played, and you didn't have this level of intensity that was required for a Champions League game, and you got rocked.
It got to the point where they brought on Divock Origi.
Or as I call him, Divock Origi.
Divock Origi. Yeah, word up.
It's not been a good couple of years for black Belgian strikers.
It hasn't, has it?
Yes.
Outside of that first 5 games for Lukaku last year, and that was about it.
Remember Christian Benteke?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He's Belgian also.
Yeah, well, I remember.
Yes.
That's all I remember.
Michi the Bishi is not playing at Valencia right now.
Yeah.
Santimina got his spot, and Rodrigo.
All right. It sucks out there. If you're Belgian.
Don't be black Belgian.
Yeah, for real. Word up. Let's move along. Actually, let's talk about the rest of that group, man.
Hold on, let's go back. Who should be the player of the game for this game? Would you say, Fred? Well, I would say Pavkov. Pavkov is on fire. Their defense was terrified.
Terrified, man. This is a super tight group, man. Liverpool, Napoli, PSG.
No, who wasn't super tight? Allison.
No. He got
loose ass bitch.
He got spread open. Belgrade are actually right back in this. Napoli PSG with the 1-1 draw, as the same result as last time, except I think it was 2-2 last time.
Yeah, last time it was 2-2.
PSG with the amazing pullback. But yeah, man, the group is wide open.
Over 180 minutes of football, Napoli clearly has outplayed PSG. PSG has the better individuals up front, and they have done things to make it happen. And Angel Di Maria's miracle save in the first leg, but
yeah, Napoli had plenty of opportunities in this game. Plenty. Why can't they? Well, where was the finishing in this game?
In Napoli. That's just how they are. Like it takes plenty to be, you know. I don't. In terms of chances missed, I would say that they were
20 shots to Paris's 9.
Yeah, but
Not much on target.
exactly. It wasn't really. It was just a lot of shots taken.
Second half is where all the shots on target happened. 13 of the 20 happened as well. But man, they had some good chances. Like, even if they weren't on target per se, like, they should have. I believe they hit the woodwork a couple times.
Yeah,
Well, big chances missed too.
but that's the thing about playing against Inter or something like that, is that PSG, is that you need to take those chances or they will fuck you. Because as much as we talk about how imbalanced the team is, Neymar is a game changer. Mbappe, like, they should have had a penalty in that game.
Dude, they ran a 5-man midfield. A straight
Juan
3-5
Bernat should have got, like, he got the
3-5-2.
goal off of the Mbappe assist, and
Yeah.
he should have had a penalty.
So I remember reading his article at the beginning of the year, and they were talking about how Tuchel had, well, after the first few games when Draxler wasn't playing, and they're saying Tuchel, he likes to stick players in their preferred position. He's not going to be like the guy before him. What's his name? Because they said he was forcing players into Emery. He was forcing players into positions where they weren't comfortable because he just wanted to get them on the field. And lo and behold, I see Tuchel doing the same thing.
But if you look at Tuchel's career, that's basically like least surprising that he does this.
That's why it's like an eye roll against the article.
Yeah,
Really is
it's
what I'm
like,
saying.
get out of here, dude. He just needed to handle something, because this is what
Got to
the
get
guy does.
Draxler on the field. Like, I don't give a fuck where he plays. Like, you're gonna bite that bullet. You have a.
I mean, especially when you consider the drop off between the guys that he plays
That's
and the
the
guys
point.
that they have on the bench. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, it's Stanley Nsoki. Is he going to play, or Musa Diaby? You know, like, it's even when they bring on Eric Choupo-Moting, he couldn't score so much that Stoke got relegated. You know, and
Yep.
like now he's their backup striker. So the fall off is so big that, like, yeah, you have to be a magician and get players to play out of position. And the thing about Julian Draxler when he got him was that he could play various positions. And if you want to play your preferred position, be better than the guy on it. If not, you're gonna play out of position. That's life, man.
So as mentioned, this group C is totally up for grabs. Liverpool and Napoli sit top, 6 points. PSG with 5. Red Star with 4. I'm sure Red Star is quite content.
Hey, man, they could get like the
Europa spot.
That's what I'm saying. And you could steal a Europa spot, and they're a contender if they go into the Europa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, having played 2 games against Napoli, 2 against PSG, and 2 against Liverpool, if they live to talk about it and they go to a lower level, unless they switch off, they should be able to go far.
Yep. All right. Let's move along. Let's talk about what I think is the match of the whole round. Manchester City hosting Shakhtar. No, I'm fucking around.
Close game, close game.
No. Let's go to the other side of Manchester United, man. All the headlines. Juventus hosting Manchester United. This was the last game, the last result of the day, pretty much. And it, result-wise, didn't go as scripted.
Nah, it didn't go as scripted at all. If you remember the last time these two teams played, all you could talk about was how bad Manchester United played.
Looked like they played better this game.
No. Juventus decided to join them late in the game in playing bad. Juventus completely dominated the game for a fuckload of time. And then their midfield dominance was what was really had them head and shoulders above. So they were just making passes to their forwards at will because they had already kind of conquered the midfield. So they decided, you know what? Let's take out some players and make some changes. So they take out the left back and they bring in Andrea Barzagli. So now they're switching back to the old Juve 3-back.
Yep.
Basically saying, come on, bring it on, you know?
Yep.
And Sami Khedira, who was having a really good game, gets replaced by Blaise Matuidi. And Manchester United at the same time, Mourinho makes the Marouane Fellaini and Juan Mata substitutions. And for once, it seems like all his substitutions were perfectly on point because Juan Mata scored one and Marouane Fellaini caused the own goal. But more importantly, Bitter Beerface, the coach of Juventus, I don't know his name. I just call him Bitter Beerface.
Allegri, yeah.
He played right into their hands. Like, you knew it was going to be a kick it up into the air and try to make shit happen kind of time. And instead of bringing on maybe even somebody that could open the game up a little more, he decided that he's just going to sit back and take it. And they got it given to them.
Mm-hmm. That was after an amazing Bonucci to Ronaldo goal. Was very sick, and then the Juan Mata free kick was sick as well.
Yes. And then
fuckery.
Jose decides to taunt the Juventus fans on his way out. Bonucci gets angry. Why do you do that, man? What are you doing? You know? And then they had little handbags, but
He doesn't give a shit.
I don't think any of them give that much of a shit. But it just seems like your team really fought out a hard-fought result. It'd be a nice time to let them have the moment. You know?
True, yeah.
Like, I get he got a lot of shit to pick and stuff, but like, every once in a while, just like, let them, maybe they'll fight for you more if you make it about them a little more.
Yeah, he showed up and was on Bonucci's dick about the in the past. Oh my God, by a center back. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, after last game, he said that Bonucci and Chiellini should be giving lectures about the art of defending at Harvard.
Mm-hmm, that's right. I remember that.
So, you know, he should be giving lectures on the art of bullshit.
But, you know, against all odds here they go. They take all 3 points. And
Yes, when you're Manchester United, you can't all the way say against all odds because you're not really a full underdog in anything, just based on the sheer amount of talent that there is. So they pulled it out, but I don't know what this means. And these run of bullshit results that he's pulling is going to get him to stay, which, as a non-Manchester United supporter, I'm extremely happy, but I think that they need to pull the plug at some point. It's just like living with a corpse.
The more this type of shit happens, though, I mean, I don't think he makes it to next year, like, no matter what. Unless he fucking turns around, wins Champions League, or wins Premier League in some ridiculous fashion. He's not there next year, I don't think. It's looking like he's going to make this year. But it's early still.
It's looking like
it's only November.
It is only November.
There's a lot of games coming up. They got the Derby this week.
Initially, I said by New Year's, and then I had amended it to Thanksgiving. And I'm returning it to New Year's. And we'll see how it goes. But I'm beginning to agree with you. He probably finished this year, only because I think, like I was saying earlier offline, Ed Woodward's job will soon be on the line too if he just fires this dude. You know, how many coaches or managers are you gonna fucking hire and fire?
Yep. It's just a blip on the radar here for Juventus.
Yeah.
I
don't think that
Juventus
is that special. I think that they're a really good team when the playoffs come. I mean, when the knockout rounds come, they're one of the contenders. But I don't think they're like a 2006 Barca or like, you know, one of those big teams. Like, everybody makes them out to be the unanimous favorite for this year's Champions League, and I don't see it. The defense is too slow. They don't have enough creativity in the midfield, like, for Champions League competition. And
I was looking back at some of their more recent runs, and like I'm looking at certain matchups, and they prevailed in a few where I didn't think they would be the favorites at all. Like when they beat Madrid the one year to go to the final to play Barca. Even last year with the Tottenham, which they, as we watched, they were like, all right, they got beat. Nice first game, second game, they're about to lose this, and they fucking pulled it back. But I agree, man. I've even when they were making the final, I never looked at that squad like, man, they're badass. Like,
and they were
about to, and they were better than they are now.
That's the part. Like, like Cristiano papers over a lot of cracks, but that squad with Pirlo and Bonucci and Chiellini and them being 4 or 5 years younger,
and Pogba.
Yeah, he was more role player in that, but like even Vidal was still there. Like they had an amazing squad. Like this starting midfield was Cuadrado, Sami Khedira, Pjanic, and Rodrigo Bentancur. Like I would be hard pressed to argue that any of these guys could walk into the old Juventus team.
Yep, for sure. Let's look at the other half of that group. Valencia hosting Young Boys from Switzerland. Who doesn't like
Don't finish that.
Doesn't like a good match between two teams. With all that being said, Valencia, they scored some goals in this one, man. Put up 3. Stay in the race for this, man. For this spot. You think they have a chance to overtake?
Very much so. They still play them.
Yeah, they still play them,
They
right?
still do play them. And Valencia almost plays like a poorer version of Manchester United. They just play a lot of defense and try to break on you. But this year they've tried to change it with Marcelino coming over and they attacking more. But it's still a very defensive team. And we'll see how Manchester does against them. Because they would match up well, I think.
Word up. Valencia.
Because they have between Carlos Soler, Rodrigo, Santimina, and Gonzalo Guedes, they have a fuckload of speed. So Jeffrey Kondogbia and either Danny Parejo or Francis Coquelin or whatever, just like their job is to just release these guys, you know? So we'll see how it goes.
Word up. Valencia. All right, so Juventus at the top of the table with 9 points. Man United 7, Valencia 5. Young boys all but out of it with 1 point. I liked Mina's goal at the beginning. He did his first goal. He did the LeBron. That was sweet. Let's look at another. Speaking of Spain, let's look at another team from Spain. Let's look at Atleti, who got it served up to him raw last round, 4-0 by Dortmund. But they came. This is the home fixture for Atleti, and they turned this around. Yeah. And basically dominated Dortmund in very Atleti fashion.
It's they really put it on them. They created the congestion in the middle of the field that Athletic does so well that broke up Dortmund's game. But what was more interesting about this game was with Nikola Kalinic playing up front alongside Antoine Griezmann and Saul Niguez and Angel Correa on the wings, Atleti actually played a very offensive style of football. And maybe it's because your boy Diego isn't in there and they're not playing slugging it out, but it was a lot more vertical.
And check this out, though. This is what I say with Athletic game. 69% possession for Dortmund. 4 total shots. None on target.
That's what I mean. Like they closed down the space very well, but Dortmund just don't look like they were ready for this game at Atleti.
Atleti 16.
I think they believed themselves after that 4-0.
Atleti 16 of 17 on tackles.
Wow. And then the other thing, they had the Thomas Delaney kid playing in midfield for Dortmund, and alongside Axel Witsel. And again, in the front, they had Jadon Sancho and Christian Pulisic. They rarely play both of them at the same time.
I thought that was surprising, too.
And Mario Götze was on the bench until the 75th minute. Rafael Guerrero, who has been doing his thing, if you recall, in the last game too, he was on the bench. Jacob Brun-Larsen, another guy that's started off the season really good off of the wing. Like, they've been playing a lot of Jadon Sancho on one side and Brun-Larsen on the other. So as much as we've been, even if you look at Dan Axel Zagadou was on the bench as a defender, as much as we praise Lucien Favre, I praise Lucien Favre, I think that on this game he put out a wrong team.
Well, they paid for it, but they probably won't pay for it overall in the group. Any other thoughts here about that game? I mean, this is like, I don't think this tells us anything about either team other than I kind of knew.
That this I kind of expected both of them to win at their home field.
Yeah.
I did it. Like, the Dortmund being 4 was surprising, but sometimes when you get got, you get got. But like, I thought that they're good enough to where even if they play in the playoffs this year and they get at some point Dortmund play against Atleti, we would have to wait until the moment the game kicked off and look at the starting 11s and be like, okay, well, I think this will happen. Like, I think they're still different styles but very even teams.
Word up. The other half of this group is Group A is Club Bruges, and I always just want to go Bruges, Bruges, and AS Monaco. Monaco floundering.
On a rope.
Man, it's bad. They got waxed here.
You know what Monaco needs?
What do they need?
Thierry Henry.
To suit up?
Because they haven't been scoring goals. They need a striker.
To 4-0, got to put on them.
I mean, yeah, Monaco, there's not really much to say. And you know it's really bad when you start reading rumors about Leonardo Jardim being the next Madrid coach. You know, while at the same time, Henry is fucking up. But the injury, I would have to venture, I would have to say that Henry has some sort of guarantees when he took this job. I don't think that he would take it on because he already had a job, assistant coach of the Belgian national team, and this situation looks quite cancerous and like a long-term project to turn around. And I don't think that he would have been given this job had it not been like you're going to get an extended period of time, which I think he makes.
I really only know Bruges from the movie When in Bruges. Have you ever seen this?
Oh.
No? Couple hitmen get stuck in Bruges. It's pretty funny. It's the only thing I ever think about, and now I will think about them waxing Monaco 4-0.
Club Bruges' city rival Cercle Bruges came to Ethiopia and played against St. George FC when I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
No doubt. Well, that would be the third thing I think about with Bruges. Word up, Monaco last place with 1 point, Bruges in third with 4 points, and as I mentioned, Dortmund and Atletico top of this table, 9-9. Look like they are both going to go through. Excitement. Moving along to other games in this round, we are lastly going to focus a little bit on the Tottenham PSV matchup. Harold Kizane, you just got caned.
Yes, but more importantly, Luke de Jong, the bullet hitter to get it started at the beginning of the game. Really,
Second minute.
Yeah, and had Tottenham and everybody think, like, kind of broke Twitter a little bit because everybody's Spursy. But Tottenham came out of it, came back, got a 2-1.
2-1. Late Kane.
Late Kane, but
30 total shots, 10 on target for Tottenham, 75% possession.
That along with Inter result, they're still alive. They were almost dead.
Yep, and I was telling a Tottenham buddy of mine, I was like, dude, have some faith. I get it. You're a Spurs fan, but like, have some faith here. Because I was like, if Inter draw this game or win that game,
as long as they won, it wouldn't have mattered what Inter did. I mean, it would have because it doesn't help that.
They had to win, and Inter had to drop some points in that, I believe. Yeah. And that's what happened.
I mean, now all they have to do is beat Inter in Barcelona, and they'll be in the Champions League next time.
Oh, that's it. It's nothing much. But they could luck up here a Barcelona team that has clinched the group.
Yeah, you haven't clinched your starting spot though. You
You
put in another guy, and that guy's going to fuck you up too, trying to get a starting spot.
Absolutely. And that guy would probably be Malcolm.
Which is what happened this weekend. And Malcolm, in his first Champions League touch, scored a goal.
Nice goal.
Yeah.
Very nice goal.
At the time, game-winning goal.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to Spurs, though, and Kane for, doing what they had to do at that last minute. Moving along, though, the Inter-Barcelona game, I found it fascinating that Inter have never lost to a Spanish team at home, and they hold that.
Yeah, but did you do a follow-up and check how many games Inter has played against
Of course
Spanish teams at home? It's all less than 10.
Yeah.
I
still find it fascinating. I just thought they would have even have played more games against Spanish competition. But, they haven't been in Champions League in 7 fucking years.
And back in the day, Champions League was pure knockout, like Champions Cup before it changed, and it was pure knockout. So you didn't know what you got, you get a red star in the first round and you can't beat them over 2 legs. You don't see any Spanish or any other team. You just go home,
Yep. Barcelona was super active and probably should have took some points home here. Agree?
Yeah, I agree. And
A lot of missed
they missed
opportunities.
a lot of opportunities. For once, it was actually the other way around, and Luis Suarez setting up a lot of cats, and they were missing the shots. But it doesn't seem uber problematic because the ball, they were moving it around well. It wasn't too stoic. The only thing I really hated about this game was the uniforms.
By
The Barca uniforms were
the Pepto-Bismol.
ugliest.
The Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah,
Look at, they even got it on.
yeah, and then they have like a design on it, like it's gonna make it better in the front of it. It's got like some design. Look like, I don't know.
It's awful. So this tightens up a little bit. Barca at the top of the table, 10 points. Inter with 7. Tottenham with 4. PSV done with 1 point. You feel like Inter could be a problem if they make it out?
If you make it out of this group, you're a fucking problem. Anybody.
No doubt.
Like, I think Tottenham, if they hadn't already been eliminated, if PSV had somehow managed to get out of this group, I think there would have been some force to be reckoned with. This is not accidental. It's a very, very tough group.
Word up.
As much as we joke about Spurs, that's a tough fucking opponent. If you beat them to advance, and if we looked at
If you get out this group, that means you did some work in these last two
Yeah.
games. And I don't think in any of the games against the first game against Barcelona or Inter, I mean
they dominated
Yeah.
most of the Inter game.
yeah.
The Barca game, once they got scored on, it was just kind of whatever. But
And they clawed that back a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, they didn't go out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get out there and get embarrassed or get
No.
totally ran off the field. So
it is
true
Champions
that.
League, and you're gonna get fucked up by really big teams sometimes. But they haven't embarrassed themselves in any of their performances. I don't think.
Yep. All right, no doubt. Moving along to the rest of the results here, we're going to run this down in the chronological order. We already covered those games. Covered that.
And that.
Porto.
And that.
Porto put up 4 on Lokomotiv, and they qualify, I believe. Yeah, they're qualified.
And now everybody in the world is hoping that their team gets Porto.
Porto Ranchak, I mean, are you sure, or would you rather have Schalke, who basically come close to...
I don't know, but I think the only other team that's qualified might be like Real Madrid and Barca or something like that. So, yeah, Porto is the team everybody wants to get right now.
Yeah, you don't want a second-place Real Madrid team or something like that. Or even who comes out of second place with the Napoli, PSG, Liverpool. It's tough out there, man. Tough out there. Porto 4-1 though over Lokomotiv Moscow. Schalke with 2-0 over Galatasaray. Schalke flying in the face of their domestic form.
They've actually kind of turned around the domestic form over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've pulled out a couple of 1-0s and stuff. Like they start. If you remember last year, their turnaround started at the time of the Borussia Dortmund crazy 4-4. Before that, they were just fucking around.
Yep.
So maybe that's just how things go in Baden-Baden, which is where Schalke is.
CSKA Moscow hosting Roma. Roma get the 2-1 victory here.
Yeah, Roma is quietly becoming like how Atletico is. Might not be the best team in their league, but they really know how to play good tournament football.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming into that role nicely. I think they'll be in the next round, and they'll be a serious headache for some people.
Absolutely. Almost similar to last year, although they had much better domestic form at this stage in the game last year. Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, I remember last year when fucking they fucked up Chelsea.
Oh yes,
nice. 3-2 or some shit.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Dude. Nah, they had some good games. They had a good group last year.
Then they went over. And
was
won the
Atleti as well,
Barcelona.
right? Was Atleti in there too?
Atleti and
And
Chelsea
Atleti
the group. They
did
came
not
out
make
of
it.
and then they embarrassed Barca, and Barca went and bought Malcolm. It's like, we showed you.
Bitch, checkmate. Real Madrid and Victoria Pleasant. Every time I see Victoria Pleasant, I want a Pilsner. But
That's a pleasant idea.
Real Madrid, all of a sudden, they're raining goals.
Man, when you play Czech Republic's finest, it's good to have.
Did you see the
Scored
Benzema
early.
goal?
Yes, Benzema,
Messi?
Lionel Benzema.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice though. You
Dude,
worked him out.
he put it on. He was big Benz. Respect, man. I always have respect for you. Don't shoot me.
Why? That was an away game for Madrid. They scored 5-0. What would that guy be doing? I just had the thought about him because of that. What would he be doing at another team? What if he was in Premier League?
Who?
Benzema. He's been at Real Madrid a long time.
You're a real gangster when Fiorentino Perez cannot get rid of you and you're not even having 10 goal seasons, man. So we don't have to discuss these things, man. He goes wherever he wants to go, and he goes there, he'll be successful. And success will not be checked by statistics or goals or assists.
He's 30. He's 30 years old.
Going on 21. Go ahead, Big Ben.
Amazing.
I ain't saying
amazing.
nothing, man. You need to change this subject. Algeria's finest.
All right. Another game we actually did want to look at, I kind of dropped the ball a little bit here, was Lyon and Hoffenheim. Lyon 2-2 with Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim 10 men pulled it back.
From 2-0.
2-0.
They were 10 men when it was 2-0.
It's tough out there.
And they still came back. And another game in which Memphis Depay has been complaining lately about how at his age you need to learn the game and he's a bigger name player, and like the rotation policy of the coach and being subbed out or coming in as a sub has really been annoying him. So behind goals of Memphis Depay and Mr. Nabil Fekir himself, they took a 2-0 lead and then substituted Memphis Depay. And proceeded to get rocked. And like, I'm sure stuff was broken in the locker room because this dude has made it uber clear that he does not like being benched. And every time he does, he either has to come on and save them or they undo work that he's done while he was playing. So it's interesting.
2-2. That's tough for Lyon trying to come out of this group.
That's Lyon's like season kind of though.
Man, that's a busy game, dude. 28 shots for Lyon, 16 for Hoffenheim, 17 total shots on target. That looks fun, man.
Dude, Nabil Fekir is quietly becoming like Captain Fantastic out there. PSG game, he had a goal and assist yesterday. He had a fucking goal. Like, he comes to play games.
Lyon 6 points, three above Hoffenheim. Obviously, Hoffenheim still in this. Hell, Shakhtar still in this. After taking a 6-0 by shellacking by Man City.
PSV, I confused my Arabs. Man City.
Man City.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's the game he had a goal and assist.
Yep. Yeah, and Man City just smacked around Shakhtar.
Yeah, and that loss to Lyon seems almost like an anomaly now, but I think even with all this that's happened, I think that Lyon and City are going to advance. But we'll see how Hoffenheim does against Man City.
Yeah, I was going to say it's tough when you didn't win the game against the person that you're probably fighting for the spot. Word up, Man City, top of this table, 9 points. They're qualified?
The only team with more than one win.
Yep.
Then other than them, Lyon is the only team that has a win.
1 win, 3 draws. Yeah. Against City. Fascinating. Fascinating stuff.
To you, everything City is fascinating, sir.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's sitting here in his Manchester City jacket.
You should see the draws.
You should not.
And that
the 2-2 draws. No, thank you.
Oh man, that's Champions League roundup for y'all, man.
It went two sentences too far, actually.
Goal of the week.
You should have stopped. Goal of the week. Let's give it to Cristiano Ronaldo.
Dude of the week.
Let's give it to
Pavic.
Pavla. Yes. Yes.
Whatever.
It? Pavkov. He's on fire. Your defense is terrifying.
In a 2-0 over Liverpool. Damn right. Due to the Champions League.
Twat of the week. Jordan Shaqiri. You should have gone and fought for your team, you little bitch. Now they lost and you were home watching on TV while your team lost and they were all looking like bitches too.
Oh man. Please shout out to Raheem Sterling. Who should
fully paid.
Who should have returned a goal. Damn.
He did, dude. But did you see the goal he scored though?
Yes. He made up for that shit.
Hey, he did not dive. He was just a moron. He fell, but he made up for it with a beautiful goal. And the moral of the story is that Pavkov is on fire.
Word up. Check us out, man.
I remember that one time when Pavkov just did it to Wijnaldum and then just dunked it on him?
Just Yam City.
That was Tuesday.
Lob City. Sorry, Pool. With all that being said, Diving for Glory, we're posting on Monday. Then we'll have a break for the international break. See y'all after the Manchester Derby. Check us on iTunes, YouTube, and all that shit. Peace.
Diving.
What do you think about them?
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving. Glory.